Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing?
Good morning, Ed.
It is a great morning, Ted. We had a big storm last night here in Atlanta, and it got a lot of rain, a lot of flooding went on. So I'm looking outside now at my neighbors and stuff who are down the mountain who are getting a lot of water.
Wow.
We live up on a huge mountain, man. So I don't even have to worry about flooding. When they have this warning broadcast going on, flash flood warning, we don't worry about that. if we get flooded, the whole city of Atlanta will be underwater.
Well, here in the Hillsborough County area in Tampa, we've been having rains on and off, and it'll rain for 15, 20 minutes and stop. And then it'll rain again. So we've been pretty fortunate, so far. So I'm happy for it. And the rain is good because, vegetation and all of that good stuff. So
you don't cut grass. You're not a landscape person, are you?
No,
you don't go out and cut no grass, huh?
them days been over, bro.
Well, I have to get out and cut the grass, man, because I don't trust people out there mowing my grass. I have to make sure it cuts nice and neat and trim and everything, and it's just the right height so you don't kill it.
Well, you good, bro. You good. Well, we really want to welcome our viewers, the viewers that are viewing now, but the future viewers to the Ted and Ed TV Money Connection. And what we really do is we follow the money and we follow what's going on because current events is just crazy, Ed. I mean, man, we got so many things to talk about. I don't know if we're going to get through them. I counted at least about pretty close to 20 things that we're going to be discussing. And one of the things that that is really heavy on people's minds is the Mueller investigation and the timeline and indictments. It is getting crazy, man. I mean, the things that I'm listening to on radio and reading is just crazy. What's your thoughts on those things, man?
Well, Ted, this is probably one of the most unusual investigations, huge investigations that this country's ever had, because there are so many entities and stuff out there that are influencing what's going on here in this investigation. First of all, you find that Congress is, especially the U.S. House, has members and stuff there on these intelligence committee and oversight committees who, because Republicans control the House, so they are trying to thwart this investigation. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, man, and highly unusual antics and stuff there in the House to really stop this investigation, because it's eventually going to be pointing toward Donald Trump. It's been going that way, but they're trying to stop it. And that is, in this day and age, man, that's just very highly unusual that a Congress and stuff would subpoena the Department of Justice and ask them to tell them what their investigation is and who they're investigating and where this investigation is going, and all of the information and stuff that they can find that the Department of Justice and stuff has on this investigation. And according to the Department of Justice rules and regulations, you don't do that. They don't put forth and tell anyone and stuff what they're doing while they are investigating a crime. but the Congress is asking them to tell them what they're doing. And we all know, and the Department of Justice know, and Trump's administration knows that as soon as this information is given to them, they have spies or people in the Congress and stuff who's going to come back and tell Trump and his people what they're doing and how this investigation is going, which is it's very highly unusual. You don't get that done, and for them to put this kind of pressure upon the Department of Justice through this investigation is just really, really bad. And the only really good thing about this whole thing is that the person who was in charge of the special counsel, Robert Mueller, is that he keeps his ship very, very tight. He has people, very powerful people and stuff who are involved in law enforcement and everything, who are very good at their jobs. They aren't opening their mouths and saying what's going on. Matter of fact, they're not even telling their people and stuff in the Department of Justice who are up there, everything that they're doing. And Rod Rosenstein and stuff, who is in charge of Mueller, he purposely and stuff have asked because of what's going on, asked Robert Mueller not to tell him exactly everything that's going on and stuff in this investigation. And a couple of weeks ago, the House Oversight Committee called Rod Rosenstein, who is the Assistant Attorney General, to the Congress and tried to force him to tell them what was going on in this investigation, everything they were doing, people and stuff who were secret, people and stuff who were going to be talking and stuff about the investigation and their witnesses and stuff and everything, who these people and stuff are. And he has so far resisted them and refused to tell them everything that's going on. He's given them a lot of information, but hopefully he's holding back enough and everything that it doesn't taint the investigation and stuff that's going on. So it's a real mess, Ted. I mean to tell you, I've never seen anything like this before. A Congress and stuff who actually attacks the Department of Justice and the FBI. They're trying to make sure, tell the American people that the FBI is not doing their job and that they're in every step of this procedure that's going on, that they aren't doing their jobs. They aren't taking care of what they're supposed to be taking care of. And here in the next couple of articles, things that we're going to be talking about and everything, one of the things that's going to come up is this interrogation that happened on Wednesday and Thursday and stuff for this past week and stuff. With
Peter Strauss, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Oh my goodness, man, that was a fiasco. That's man, when I watched that, I watched pretty close, about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours of it. And I saw this guy. This guy is a patriot. This guy is a bona fide patriot. Now, he might be a conservative Republican, but the thing is that when I heard him talk, when I listened to him, and they were saying that he was smirking and looking all like he was better than everybody, all of these Republicans and stuff like that. But when you look at his history, his bio, and all the things that he's done, this guy is a Russian specialist. He knows everything what's going out there. He knows all the little sales that's going on, all these people that's pocketed in different parts of the country that's trying to destroy the country and what have you. And for the life of me, I'm baffled. I really am. Because these people, man, just to discredit him, to try to discredit Mulder, that they try to, just like one of the congressmen says, you're it. You're it. So they have really basically, and he, he made some mistakes, he's human, what he did, as far as what he said, but that's his right to say that. However, and then he had a relationship, infidelity. So that discredits him right there. Two things he did. And he's worked for the FBI for over 20 years, and he turns around and they got him. And that's all they needed, just a little inkling thing to get in. And then they always bring up these committee things and, bring them up before for Congress. So one thing that I realize is that this political game is no joke. I mean, people will sell their soul just to keep a job. Just to keep a job.
Well, Ted, like you said, everybody is human. And you do have nobody is pure and or whatever. And you look at some of the congressional lawmakers out there, even the guy Jim Jordan and stuff and everything, who was the chairman of the I think Judiciary Committee and stuff and everything. They find out now that he allowed this doctor and stuff and everything, because before he became to Congress and stuff, he was a wrestling coach for the Ohio State University. And they had this doctor there who was abusing these athletes and stuff who were on the wrestling team. And these athletes came forth and finally start telling that Jim Jordan, who is now the head of the Judiciary Committee, and that he knew about this guy abusing these kids. So it's okay for him to allow kids to be abused, but when Peter Strzok is sitting there and everything, and all he did and everything was he got him a girlfriend or whatever and did some things and stuff, but it wasn't nowhere near abusing children.
Right.
It didn't rise to that level and stuff and everything that really was really, really bad and stuff and everything. And that, it was, it's something that it was kind of minor and stuff and everything when you consider that there's a lot of infidelity and stuff going on around there, and that infidelity and stuff and everything is between the couples and stuff and everything who are involved in that, and it has nothing to do with any bad things that are going on with someone else outside the relationship. But what he did and stuff and everything really affected kids and stuff and everything who were going out into the world, and they are being abused and stuff by a doctor. It's not something that you just close your eyes to. And he did that. He closed his eyes. He didn't actually do it, but he knew it was happening and didn't say anything about it. So now he goes here, and Peter Strzok sitting here and everything, and he sends out some emails and everything saying that he did not like, in essence, he didn't say he didn't like Trump or whatever, but they are insinuating that he was trying to force the election and stuff and everything against Trump. But when you consider that yesterday the Mueller investigation turned in indictments against 13 Russian
12 indictments.
12 Russian indictments and stuff against not people and stuff who were third party like they did before, but these people that they indicted are actually Russian officials from their security agency, almost like our CIA. And they turn in indictments and stuff against them because they have enough evidence, I guess, according to what they put out, to indict these people. They probably will never get a chance to indict these folks and everything because Russia doesn't have extradition treaties and stuff with the United States. And I'm pretty sure they will never let these people be brought back to the country and stuff and brought before trial and everything to show what they did and stuff in an election. So it is, man, it's just unbelievable, Ted, how this thing is going on, and the level of really misjustice and stuff and everything to protect the president of the United States. And he is totally destroying this place and all of our system of government and everything. It's unreal. I find this stuff really, really disturbing and stuff when I see it, because I didn't listen to any of it. I knew it was getting ready to happen that next day. Rachel Maddow, I watch her show in the evening time. She said, this thing is coming up. This guy's going to be in there, and it's going to be a public hearing. Well, if I was the Republicans, I probably wouldn't have had that public hearing, because from what understanding of it is that the day before, when they had the private hearing, the Democrats saying that this guy they can't beat him down. He is too strong. This man knows his stuff and everything. So why would you know that this guy is going to be presenting an excellent defense against what they're saying and bring him to the public view? Because like you said, this man is very patriotic. He knows his stuff. And he did an excellent job, even though he may have done some things wrong. He did an excellent job of defending himself in the public viewpoint. So, if the public is looking at this stuff, they can see, unless you're the most ignorant person in the world,
wait a minute,
you can see.
Wait a minute. I listened to this alternative radio show here in Central Florida. And I'm telling you, man, the people, and that was one of the subjects, and people would call in, and I'm talking about these Republicans or 45 supporters, and they called that man everything but a child of God, talking about they just talked about him, talking about he lying. You can tell he was lying. Everything came out of his mouth. He was lying. And I'm saying to myself, I say, man, did they really listen to this guy? Do they know who this guy is? And, ain't nobody saying that the guy is perfect and that he hasn't made any mistakes. But you can tell that his main concern was protecting this country. And I believe for the most part, most of the FBI people are doing that, and they are risking their lives every day, just like the CIA people. And because they have family here, they have children, they have relatives in this country, and they feel as though they're doing a service. Yeah, a lot of them could be doing better in other occupations and make more money, and some of them are, there because of the money. But I can guarantee you, the majority of those people, man, are really, because they have thwarted so many, because we've been attacked all over the world. People coming trying to destroy this country. Not only the Russians, but China, Japan, Iran, you name it. Saudi Arabia, even trying to, they make like we friends and what have you, but they buying up America too. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, and this is changing the subject, but not really changing the subject, the China connection with Michigan. And man, I read an article, man, and I'll tell you, China is buying up Michigan, bro. They are buying up Michigan. And they are, because Michigan is where a lot of skilled laborers are. They've worked in the manufacturing companies, and, Michigan, a lot of factory workers got tons of experience in doing all kinds of good work in batteries and building cars and all of those types of things. So they have invested all kinds of billions of dollars of building factories and supporting these Michigan people as far as so they can make a profit. So the political side of it is that the mayors and all of those people saying, hey, let them come in. Hey, that's jobs for us. So China is actually, Beijing is investing tons of millions of dollars to buoy up Michigan, and Michigan is coming back. And because nobody else is investing in Michigan, everything is, is so negative there, so they are really, really, really going to, they're involved. So,
with you bringing this up, Ted, about China and them buying up the manufacturing and stuff within that state, because like you said, for a long time in the 20th century and stuff, in the 60s and 70s and stuff, most of all of our automotive manufacturing was based there in the state of Michigan. And from what I can see and what you're talking about, because I didn't really do a lot of research and stuff on this particular topic and everything, but from hearing you talking and from what I've been seeing outside there, China is really is slowly and secretively going out and they have a plan and stuff that they're working on, and their government is backing them up, backing these people up who are doing this. They have huge sums of money and stuff that they are borrowing, and China it also, even though they are buying a lot of our debt, they also have a lot of debt themselves and stuff that they happen to deal with, but they're able to deal with their debt and stuff a lot differently than we deal with our debt. But getting back to that Michigan thing, I think probably what's going on, Ted, is that not only with them coming in and buying some things up and buying up with what's going on there, they're probably, if I'm them, I'm taking some of that expertise that they have there in the state of Michigan and using it in my country.
You hit it right on the head. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Taking this expertise that they have and taking it to China and using it there and stuff and everything so they can improve what they're doing. Very smart thing that they're doing. Also, what they did and stuff, when they found out that Trump was getting ready to start raising the tariffs and stuff and everything up on them, they went out, and for this month and probably next month, we're going to see a huge difference in their import-export data and stuff that's going to be coming out. It's going to show and everything that our import and everything thing is going down. That differentiation between the import and export and stuff is really going down for these 2 months. And the reason why it is going down, because China went out and they bought up a lot of their products and stuff that they are importing into their country for future purchase and stuff and everything of what's going on. Because once this tariff and stuff really comes about and Trump decides that he wants to keep this tariff thing and stuff going on, they already have a lot of stuff, imports that's in the pipeline that's coming to their country that is tariff proof. Because they went out and purchased a huge amount of items and stuff from this country, from these farmers and stuff that's going to help them down the road. So they're preparing themselves and everything for Trump's stupidity. Also, China, if you look at them, they have a lot of other stuff going on and stuff, Ted. Right now, they are investing a lot in these African nations. A lot of these countries and stuff there in Africa and stuff, they are taking and they are buying up debt and stuff there inside these African countries. They are going into these countries and helping them to give money to build roads, to improve their communities and stuff and everything. They're doing a lot.
And where are they doing that, Ed? Where are they doing that? Where are they doing that?
Because they're going to be down the road, these countries are going to be beholden to China. They're going to have a foothold in these countries, and once they get that foothold into those countries and stuff and everything, they're going to have to deal with them. They're going to improve what they're doing, because eventually they're going to become, if we don't watch out, they're going to become the #1 nation in this world.
Right, and then not only that a lot of these countries have so rich in resources. Now we know that they've been really, I mean, I hate to use this word, raping Africa for years, decades, but they've been doing it in small increments. But now they're going all out. Just like, they use us they use us for intelligence, different, products. How do we do things, and make things and that type of thing, being creative. And they take those things that we've created and came up with, and then they use it to their benefit. However, in the African nations all over the continent, there's so many great resources there. Gas, oil, gold, copper, all of these things that China can use, because they have to have it, because their population is so vast, and so therefore they're taken care of, because China have built cities that nobody's even hardly there yet, you know. And so they're anticipating that a lot of people are going to be living in these major cities, because when you got 50 million or 30 million people living in one city, that's crazy, you know. So that's what they're doing, and they've built a lot of these different places, and they know that the people are going to be there, come there to live, because they're not a agrarian kind of country, you know, anymore. You know, they're converting to a lot of different things. You know, that's why Tesla is going over there building all those cars so they can be electric. So they're adapting to what's going on in the environment. They're adapting to all the things that they have to need. However, we're sitting up here arguing about different things and not even planning for the future. You know, they don't know what they're going to do next month. These congressmen and senators are sitting around here fighting and bickering over politics and trying to take power, and they don't even plan for what's going to happen next year or 2 years from now. All they're doing is just committing debt. That's it, you know, and selling off America. That's all they're doing.
Well, like you said, Ted, they have a futuristic view. You know, they have a 10 and 20-year plan and stuff to help.
They got a 500-year plan, bro.
To help improve what's going on and stuff in their country. And like you said, we are not doing that ourselves, because if you look at those things that they're doing in the African nation, they not only have resources and stuff there and everything, they have a lot of natural resources that they can expand upon, like Kenya and stuff. They own almost 90-some% of Kenya's debt. They own that. So they've already embedded themselves into the country of Kenya, but along with embedding themselves in the country of Kenya and stuff and everything, the people there in Kenya and stuff have a resource that they probably want to start exploiting, and that's their agricultural capabilities, and also their capabilities and stuff for providing them with meat and everything. They grow a lot of goats, a lot of sheep and everything and stuff there that the country of China and stuff is probably going to start importing and stuff into their country and stuff once they build these industrial things up, and this farming capabilities and stuff up to where they want it to be. So as we are going along, I don't believe that our country and stuff realizes that we started out after World War II and everything, and we started building up one of the basic things that other countries and stuff didn't do, and that's our infrastructure, to take advantage and stuff of what's going on out there. Eisenhower built the interstate network and stuff out there, highway system, so people can be able to travel around this country and use this resources and stuff to do things with. And at this point in time, those resources and stuff aren't being built. I did an article and stuff last week and stuff on a tunnel that the state of New York is trying to build from New Jersey to New York. And right now, their subway systems and everything is falling apart, man. It is falling apart. And nobody from the government is spending any money and stuff to help the state of New York to build this tunnel system up. And if you know, and I know you know, that the most important thing that's going on there in the city of New York is what? That financial empire is sitting right there. Wall Street, that particular street there and everything controls trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. And our our country is not helping them to build up and modernize how we deal with our financial system and stuff there, because you got to have people who are going to be transporting everything to the city of New York to take care of their business and stuff going on there. They cannot continue to drive cars there because it is the traffic is just horrible. So what they want to do is build a tunnel and stuff through there. And when Obama was the president, he had committed to help them to build this new tunnel. Well, Trump came in, and now he's told them we're not going to do anything at all because he wanted the city.
Everything that President Obama did, he wanted to cut it out anyway.
Yeah, he did. But Trump did this and everything because because the city of New York did not give him some tax advantages and stuff that he actually wanted for Trump Tower.
Of course, it's all about him.
And because they didn't do that, he said, I'm cutting this stuff out. I'm not giving you the money. So he cutting off his nose to spite his face.
Yeah, right.
Because if you don't have the capabilities of bringing the people and stuff there into Trump Tower and stuff like that, because a lot of people aren't living in the city of New York because it's too expensive. And you can't live there. So most of them live in New Jersey. So they travel from New Jersey to the city of New York City. And they don't have any way of being transported there because their subway system now is not dependable. The thing may break down anytime or be down for 2 or 3 hours and they can't get the trains through or their the electrical grid and stuff and everything is so screwed up and it's so old that this stuff has a break in the electrical system, so it can't run the train. So these people are sitting on these daggone trains and stuff waiting to get to work. You can't have this stuff going on because, like you said, China is actually building cities that they don't even have people for it yet. They're not even there.
That's right.
So they're planning. We are not even taking care of our basic needs and stuff that we need right now.
Yeah, they're playing politics, bro. That's all they're doing. All they're doing is just kicking it down the road, and they're not really infrastructure they've been talking about infrastructure for 50 years, 40, 50 years, as far as monetizing and everything, what's going on. But you mentioned the stock market. I just want to touch on two things here. We all know that the stock market is a game, buy low, sell high and all that mess. But the thing is that now these analysts might be, and now this is just my speculation, this is just my opinion now, I might be wrong here, but just my observation, these analysts are booing up a lot of these companies, or what should I say, these analysts are downplaying these companies and saying, let's say, for example, any kind of stock, I'm not going to name a stock, but let's say they say, oh, it's going to get 81 cents in per share, an increase in revenue and what have you. But then it turns around, they lowball it 81 cents and turn around, and then it increases to 91 cents or 92 cents. That's a big difference. So what happens? They say, wow, they had a nice earnings, because the projection was it was going to be 81 cents. Now it's 93 cents or $1.10 or whatever. And so what happens is that, what does that do? Hey, you better get on this stock because it's going up. You better get on this stock. So all these traders are, calling these big investors, telling them, people that don't really do the study and all of that. And then all of a sudden, people are buying into their stock market. Now that's just, I'm just saying, that's just my interpretation of what's going on. They're lowballing because every time you look around, if you look at the different, the scroll that goes around there and you look at their increase and what they project and all of that, and they end up passing it and going over it. The ones that they don't like, they analyze it and they overprice it. So anyway, another thing I wanted to talk about, the Pence family. Man, I just found out about this. This was an article in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. I can't remember. But his dad had owned a fleet of gasoline stations. Him and his brothers and some other people, and they did pretty good, with it, and they used to build them in these little small towns and all over Indiana. And so his dad obviously passed away, and then his brother, Pence's brother, took over, and he was the CEO, president, and all of that. So they ended up going bankrupt, the company. And now in Indiana, the federal or the state don't have to pay $20 million to cover the cost of all of these different stations. You got some of them, they sold off some, and some of them just went closed down and what have you, because of gasoline prices up and down and what have you. But the thing is what I'm saying is that the reason why, now this is another one of my opinions, now I might be wrong on this, the reason why Trump picked Pence, because he knew he was in financial strife. Because Pence claiming that he hadn't had nothing to do with it. We sold it in early 2000 or middle 2000, and that kind of thing, and what have you. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they got out of this trauma. And now his brother now is worth anywhere between $5 and $26 million. Now, how you gonna go bankrupt, with a company that failed, and then all of a sudden now you worth, between 5 and 26 million. And Pence, of course, the good man that he is, he only, his net worth is only $2 million or less. So the point is, what I'm making is somehow somebody came in and saved them, and then all of a sudden now, the state or the federal government is going to have to pick up these costs, because there has to be a cleanup for all of this mess, all these different places that's been closed down, and it's causing a environmental mess. Now we're talking about water. It's hurting Indiana's water systems. It's hurting Indiana because of all of this mess. It has to be cleaned up, and it's going to cost Indiana $20 million to clean all of these stations up, because they converted them to gasoline stations and what have you. And see, there we go, another environmental problem. That's why Pence is against all of that. So I'm just saying, all of this stuff is connected, man. The money is connected. And then who bails these people out? The state, the federal government. They create a mess, and then they end up bailing out, and then they still end up with money, and they bankrupt. Follow the money, bro. I mean, these people, man, they are slicker than slick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they are really, and, there's no integrity about these people, man. I don't care how much you talk about you love God and all of that, and you're going to turn around here. Now Pence might have not had his hand completely dirty, but, he was in the family business.
Well, Ted, that's you talking about the American way, what his family and stuff did. There's thousands of families and stuff who did the same thing. The owners and stuff always take advantage and stuff of the little person who was out there, and they also use the federal government in not very direct manners and stuff, but indirect manners and stuff and everything to take care of their people. Because you can go from the top of these companies and stuff all the way down to the lowest of stuff of companies that are out there, even the ones who've gone bankrupt. They usually the CEO always comes out on top. He's the one that knows that the company's ready to go bankrupt, so he takes the money and stuff and everything, put it in his pocket, and all of a sudden, bam, 2 or 3 days later, a week later, they're bankrupt. But he's got his money hid away, and he's running clean and free. But everybody below him who didn't know that this was going on and everything, they're the ones who managed to lose out. And like you said, they are that environmental cleanup and stuff for those gas stations and stuff, man. Those things, man, are huge expenses and stuff and everything, because you've got these huge reservoirs and stuff that most gas companies and stuff put in the ground. And the EPA is supposed to regulate these things to where after every 20 or 25 years, they have to replace these gas tanks that are in the ground, because they start developing leaks and stuff that, like you said, leaks right into the soil or whatever if they don't do anything about it. And it creates an environmental hazard. And so the EPA has to come in and clean the stuff up and use federal funds to do it, because these people come say, well, we're bankrupt and we can't do anything about it and everything, and they walk away from it. And somebody has to come in and deal with it. You can't bring in a new company and stuff there, because a new company comes in, they already got a big debt and coming in and pulling these tanks out of the ground and putting new tanks and stuff down there so they can have a gas station and stuff there. So it's a thing of this country, man, that's been going on for years and years and years. So when you talk about this and being Mike Pence and his family doing it, he's just doing what everybody else and stuff is doing in this country and stuff, and how they get away with these things. And
well, I mean, and that's good. I mean, when I say good, I'm talking about, like you just said, it's the American way. But then it seems to me as though it's a double standard. However, anybody else would have been really slapped in the head and got tremendous fines.
There would have been a big investigation and stuff against them. Now, if President Obama's family had done something like that, or Michelle Obama's family had done something like that, man, it would have been big news and stuff out there. Yeah, doing this, and Republicans would have been all up in arms. Oh man, look at Obama, he's not doing this, doing that. So. That goes back and stuff, Ted, to the because you read about it. I didn't read anything else about it. I never even saw it. But things are happening and stuff out there in this country that are not being covered and stuff by national news and even state news agencies, and also your local news agencies and stuff, because there's everybody is looking at crime and somebody getting killed or whatever. So it takes up their half an hour or the hour of news and stuff and everything, dealing with other things. So the things that Ted and their TV and stuff is doing is bringing forth a lot of these things that these large news agencies are not bringing and stuff to our folks who can't.
Which brings us to the black media. What the hell is going on with the black media, man? Because I'm searching, man. I'm searching, bro. I mean, we had Roland Martin every morning, man. I used to religiously listen to him, and at least you had some kind of inkling of what's really going on. Because really, because he has access to a whole lot of good information, and he was relevant, and it's just unbelievable, man. I mean, the black media, and it's not totally their fault. And the reason why I say this is because in order for you to be, have a station or even a show, it costs money. People want to get paid when they work. We don't get paid for this. We're doing this because we want to get information out. We want to express our own opinions. Some of it is like way out there. I know that I put my stuff way out there, but the bottom line is that people need good information, and stuff that we talk about, you need to really look it up yourself. Google it, go to these articles and find out and read between the lines, because these people are, I mean, all it is a get over, to say that they're destroying America. I mean, they're just trying to get over. That's what they're doing. And they don't care about the future of this country. And I'm not saying all of them don't, but a lot of them just want to get the money. That's why you have so many different people that's out here. And we got the biggest robber baron right now in the White House. All he's for is his family and trying to get money and negotiate for himself. That's it.
Well, let's do a define and stuff what we're talking about. We have even back in the 60s and the 70s and stuff, when Ted Turner and stuff did his big thing and stuff, when he started using satellite broadcasting and stuff and everything. He built himself an empire up, and right now we have CNN and news from that Ted Turner Network, TBS broadcasting and stuff. Well, as Ted Turner built this stuff up, he sold out. He sold all his things, $1 billion empire and stuff out and everything. But during that time, BET, Black Entertainment, started coming up, and Mr. Johnson and stuff
sold out.
Took an idea and everything, and he built that up. And then all of a sudden, once he built it up, he sold it out to Sony. And right now, TV One and stuff and everything, they are. We'll get
Basically,
back to BT in a little bit. TV One and everything was built up by this lady named Kathy Hughes. She built that empire and stuff up, and then all of a sudden, as soon as she built that empire and stuff up and started doing some positive things for our community, then she became she was a target and stuff for a buyout.
Put it on the market. Yeah, she put it on the market.
She took it, and the Comcast bought them out. Bought 51% and stuff of her TV One agency. So she still owns part of it, but she is not a majority shareholder that can take and determine what the heck going on. Now her son and stuff and everything, he's still involved and stuff in TV One. And I guess he's being involved in everything because her having that 49% interest and stuff and everything allows her to keep somewhat of a foothold and stuff there. But they do not control everything that's going on there in the programming and stuff of those TV stations. So they've taken these huge black media items and stuff out there, and they have sold them away to people, to these conglomerates and everything. So we have no control over what programming and stuff goes on and stuff there. So when we start talking about black media and stuff and where it's at, those are the things that we're talking about. We don't control.
But the thing is, think about this though, Ed, when you say control, the reason why they had to do certain things like that is because of advertising dollars. So if they see that if you're not getting along to go along, or go along to get along, whatever it is, the bottom line is those advertisers are not going to advertise with you because those agencies not going to even look at you. Because and once again, I'm going to say this, I said this 6 months ago, a year ago maybe. I remember when Ebony, Black Enterprise, and Essence, all three of the CEOs, the presidents of those companies were begging for advertising dollars in the 80s. And they had to basically beg for advertising dollars to stay in existence because that was the market. And so now their whole thing is, I don't have to advertise in black media. Dude, we got TV. They got other magazines that black folks read. So so a lot of them, your lifeblood is advertising dollars. It's not subscriptions. The newspapers know that too. Newspapers the same thing. It's not subscriptions. Now, when you covering, because they break it down, man, they know what age group, how much money they spending, what's your demographics, and what's your income and all of that. And so they said, hey, we can get you, and we can advertise with the number one. We don't have to just advertise with you. And then on top of that, you had the Latino market coming in and taking a lot of those advertising dollars because that was the fastest growing market that was going on. So I don't totally disagree or fault black media because black media only exists because of advertising dollars. And it was a lot of, and they had a lot of subscription. People was buying those magazines. People was buying them off the shelves. But the point is that it does not exist. You cannot make money without advertising dollars if you're not paying $10,000, $20,000 a page. So that's the big deal right now. And right now, who owns all the businesses? Who's advertising? All you got to do is look at it. So.
I'm sitting here, Ted, looking at trying to do Google research and stuff on some of these black medias and stuff that's going on. There was a guy and stuff back in the 60s and stuff who was a comedian. His last name was Allen. Do you remember his first name?
His last name was Allen.
Right.
He had a black advertising agency.
Well, he has a lawsuit against Comcast and a couple of other.
I know you're talking about. He's a comedian. He used to be a comedian, and now he owns and he sued Al Sharpton, and now
no Comcast sued Al Sharpton.
He sued Al Sharpton too.
He has a lawsuit. Well, he didn't really actually sue Al. I think he just added him to the lawsuit and everything because Al Sharpton, behind his back and everything, took some things and stuff that he had and used it and stuff against his agency and stuff. But he started out as a bankrupt guy. He was broke, and he built himself up an empire and stuff now that we have that most people don't know that he owns these things, these little small companies and stuff out there now that's on cable TV and everything. He owns a huge amount of them and stuff and everything right now. And I forget his first name, but his last name is Allen.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, he has a $10 billion lawsuit and everything that he's filed and stuff against Comcast and a couple of other these.
Because they're trying to block him out.
Because they're trying to block him out and stuff as a black person and stuff and everything from putting his thing in there. And he's hired a lot of black folks and stuff and everything to work with him. And he is the one that is trying to build up this black media outlets going on. And a lot of these huge conglomerates and stuff like Sony and everybody else, they are trying to block him out and make him a non-entity and stuff out there in the media because he's asking, like you said, for those ad dollars. He wants those ad dollars to come back into our community and stuff and everything. And another one of those people who control those ad dollars and stuff are political parties. They aren't putting forth and buying ads and stuff in these black news media items. And he is very upset and stuff about that. But his main thing and stuff is Comcast and how they have kind of blackballed him and stuff out of being able to control those dollars and stuff that could come back into our community.
Well, this is capitalism in its finest. I mean, that's what capitalism is about: competition. If I see somebody that's a threat, plus as part of it is prejudice, racism too. But at the same time, it's about getting you out, so I can buy you out because you ain't making no money, and I can get it on a nickel on a dime. I can get it for a dime off a dollar, or whatever. And so if he started losing money because he's not getting those advertising dollars, then he's going to have to sell because they're going to come to him and say, okay, now you can't do nothing because it's all competition. But when you got 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 major corporations coming at you, and here you are by yourself, that's hard to do. I mean, how are you going to compete? And so, and it's a lot of people, and that's a pretty standard kind of business, the media type thing like that. But, that's the reason why it's so amazing how Zuckerberg, came on top. He worth what? I don't know, $50 billion or whatever it is.
He's worth a lot more than that, buddy. Ever since they had that problem and stuff with privacy issues and stuff and everything, his stock is going up.
Yeah.
I was surprised that it went up, even though he was having that trouble. I mean, he went from like $50 or $60 billion, and he's close around that $80 or $90 billion mark now.
And the thing about it is that he has something unique, and so that's the thing. You have to come up with something unique where nobody else can really do it, and you take control of it. And what he's doing, Alan, that's old school stuff, and I can understand, and so therefore they're gonna try to knock him off. That's capitalism, competition, bro. So, I ain't feeling sorry for him, but hey, I'm happy for him, that he's trying to fight. But the bottom line is, man, they gonna get you. They gonna get you.
He is right now. Right now, Ted, he's worth a lot of money. Allen is worth probably about $10 or $20 million and stuff right now. And
10 or 20
has,
million? Oh, he's worth more than that.
Well,
Way
somewhere
more
around
than
there. But he's still an entity and stuff out there because he has a block of television stations and stuff and everything that are still out there and stuff on our cable news and everything. And the cable market. But right now, he is going to be coming under attack and stuff because a lot of people and stuff now aren't buying into these cable contracts. They're cutting these cable cords and everything. So when they start cutting the cable cord, that means all these little small stations and stuff out there are not going to have any money that's going to be coming into them unless he figures out a way and stuff of how
he's going to stream
live
some
stream.
He's going to do some streaming.
He's going to have to learn how to do some streaming out there.
Look at here. We got about 5 minutes, but look at here. We haven't talked about.
Didn't you start out and tell people that we aren't going to be able to hit everything?
I'm just saying, we haven't talked about the Supreme Court. We haven't talked about the Germany's prime minister. We haven't talked about UK in 45, the Putin summit. I mean, come on, man. we ain't got enough time to talk about all this stuff. That's why I say we should be on every day. I mean, really. I mean, and then we can get more in detail and in depth and maybe do 30 minutes, and then do an hour on Saturday. But I'm serious, man. Some kind of way we're going to have to raise some money so that we can really, and we was talking about advertising and that kind of thing, we don't really want to advertise. We just need sponsors. That's all. Because there we can mention your name if you're out there and you want to help sponsor us. Because what is our budget? Is about $1,500, $2,000 a month.
Man, it's probably a little bit more than that, but that will anything will help. Anything will help get us out there.
Because man, it don't cost a whole lot of money to do these shows, but it is expensive and it's time consuming. And the thing is that we want to get more in depth, more detailed information. So, I'm gonna do my best to try to see if we can get some interest in people, where we can at least mention your name, and because a lot of people might not listen to us live, but they go on and they listen to us.
Listen to the recorded version.
That's right. So, but we only got a couple more minutes. But what else you got on your mind, Ed?
Oh man, it's very, very obvious and stuff that our president and stuff now has become almost a non-entity and stuff out there on the world stage. And I'm very, very concerned about that nobody else and stuff and everything wants to be able to not censor him, but at least be able to call him on the carpet if you don't do nothing but just call him up secretly and say, hey, man, you need to stop this mess here and everything, because what you're doing out there is destroying us and stuff as a country. And I don't see any Republicans and stuff out there who are strong enough to do it. So somebody out there in the infinite wisdom, whether they're these big conglomerate companies and stuff and everything, the CEO of Apple or CEO of Google or somebody needs to turn around and say something to him to let him know that what the heck he's doing and everything is not helping his country. It's hurting us and it's hurting our status and stuff out there. Because when you have a president that comes out and he's sitting there in the biggest stage and stuff out there as far as NATO and our allies is concerned, and he talks about the prime minister of the UK, even though I don't agree with a lot of things that Theresa May and stuff has to say, but to denigrate her publicly and stuff out there, and then turn around and look her in the face and say, I didn't say that.
And we heard it come right out of his mouth.
It came out of his mouth. Yeah, I didn't say that. So the lady is she ain't stupid. Her people aren't stupid.
Yeah.
They know what he said. He came out of his mouth and said it, and then he stands before her and shakes the hand with Queen Elizabeth and all that, and tells a big lie and says, "Oh no, I didn't do that. I like you. I think you're doing a good job." But turn around before he even gets into the country and stuff and says that, and then gets upset because there's 200 and some thousand people out there demonstrating against him being there in this country, and even in Ireland. Where he has his golf course there. They are they're protesting against him right there. So he created a problem and stuff for his security agency and everybody who's trying to protect him. Because if you got 200 or almost 250,000 people out there protesting against you, and they're trying to maneuver around them to make sure that he is not involved.
I don't even want to know the cost of what's going to. I bet you that cost going to be anywhere between $25 and $50 million or more.
It's probably more than that, Ted. And we have to continue to do this and stuff because he is a president and stuff, and he doesn't care and stuff about what the heck's happening. But and then to have this indictment to come out against these 12 Russian officials and stuff in their security agency, and then schedule a summit with the president of Russia and to be in a secret meeting and stuff with him. It's the implications, man, is just huge. And I don't know how he can be able to, our country can be able to keep on doing what we're doing, because the damage that's happening out there is just huge. And if our country and our electorate don't start doing something about this thing and stuff, and we're going to be in a position and stuff to where we aren't going to be able to come out of this. And we're not. We can't turn this mess around. So we are telling all of our viewers and people who are watching this program, you guys need to gear up, man, and do one thing. You got to get out there and vote. You got to get out there and put your people and stuff in office and stuff that can help turn this thing around. Because if you don't do that, if you don't take advantage and stuff of this vote, you're going to see a lot more of this stuff coming about. And if he gets his people back in office who are sitting there and co-signing this mess that he is doing out there, and they're back there in office again, all that does, Ted, is empower him to continue to do this mess.
We just don't know the mess. We try to keep up with it. It's so much stuff that has changed. People just don't realize the damage that has been done. I mean, we see it in the media, but I mean, the policies and all of that. I mean, we just don't know everything. And they're not telling us everything. The media is not telling us everything. The Congress is not telling us everything. But you know what? I just had a scripture and I lost it. It was the Beatitudes.
Keep talking for a little bit.
I'm serious, man. I gotta find the scripture. I wrote it down, and it'll come up. But I'm just saying, man, seriously, this is serious. I mean, people don't realize, man, there's consequences in not voting. There are consequences in not voting. I mean, this is a democracy, and I'm telling you right now that if people don't take this serious, I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in voting. Now, forget that mess. It ain't gonna do no good for me. You have to vote at the right people in and try to help the people that you want to get in. And then that way they're gonna help policy and direct money to you. We didn't even talk about gentrification, man. There's some crazy stuff going on in certain neighborhoods. But anyway, let me say this. This is in the Beatitudes. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. There's a lot of people out there moaning, bro. And a lot of people suffering. I want to talk about Yemen, man. 16,000 people have been killed in Yemen for this stupid war. What it is Saudi Arabia and Iran putting that thing together to keep that going. 16,000 people have died this year. In the last several years, I would say that, last several years.
And like you said, there is so much stuff going on, Ted, that people aren't aware that it's going to affect their bottom line. And that's the thing that when you first started the broadcast and we started talking about the money connection and why we came about is because most of these things affect people's pockets and their bottom line. Things that happen outside this country and stuff is affecting your bottom line. We're looking at now, our gas prices and stuff is starting to go up. They have Iran sitting over there that our president and stuff has really just denigrated and created a whole big mess and stuff with them. And now they're not putting more oil and stuff into that pipeline and stuff to keep our gas prices and stuff down. So things that happen outside this country and stuff, most of the time going to affect eventually our bottom line, because I can't afford to spend $3 a gallon for gas. I don't even go to work. I don't have a regular job like I'm retired, like you are retired. We don't have to go out there and spend $100 or $200 a week and stuff for gas to get back and forth to work. So, but there are people who are watching this broadcast and stuff who are out there working and everything, and your money is going out of your pocket just as fast as it's coming in. And
it's gone, bro.
It's gone. So hopefully our viewers and stuff will be okay, and I'm hoping that we can get some sponsors and stuff who are going to help sponsor the show and to keep us on the air. And
don't let me go to one of these progressive billionaires now. I mean, I can't beg.
You mean conservative billionaires?
Oh no, hell no! I wouldn't take a dime for none of them.
You take a dime for that?
I wouldn't take a dime because they'll try to control the damn show.
Oh, they will.
Because we want to say what we want to say, and we're gonna say the truth. I don't care if it's on either side.
Oh, yeah, I don't care. I was just kidding. Sure. But anyway, we're way over our time and everything now. We're going into 7 minutes and stuff past our time. But anyway, we hoping that our viewers and stuff enjoyed the show. I know I have. And it's going by pretty fast. And I would love to have a 6-day-a-week broadcast for our viewers and stuff out there who are watching our program. So hopefully we can bring this thing about. And we're asking people, we have a blog site and on our Facebook page, and come out there and look at it, because every day there's an article and stuff that comes on that affects your bottom line.
Absolutely. We appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Hey baby, what you trying to do? Spent the night just trying to find you. You the hottest one under the sun, and I'm under your spell. We stuck just like glue. You ain't got the free crib, oh well. You and me can head to the hotel. Whatever we do, just don't tell. I don't need anybody all on my coattail. I feel your energy and I ain't trying to fight it. Your vibe is way too exciting. I know I'm who you want to ride with. Don't fake it, I know that you like it.
It's more than just emotions. I'm getting more emotions. All you gotta do is focus. Not what you used to, but you like it. But you like it. Ooh, yeah. I've been out here looking for you. Just something special, man.
Get up on my roller coaster. Get inside my aeroplane. I can take you places, baby. Places you ain't